Hi, COM 101 students, this is Mr. Rickard, and this video will talk about the writing prompt discussion assignments in our COM 101 class. So writing prompt discussions are one of the two different types of discussion boards that we will use in the course, the other type being open discussions. Writing prompt discussions are going to challenge you to apply the content that we are looking at in each chapter of the text. So each writing prompt will focus on a particular section or portion of the textbook. For writing prompt discussions, things that I'm looking for is frequent participation. For writing prompt discussions, you're expected to make at least 3 contributions in each writing prompt discussion board. So there will be a writing prompt discussion for each chapter. So for the first week, we'll have a writing prompt for chapter 1, a writing prompt for chapter 2, and a writing prompt for chapter 6. Those 3 contributions include, number 1, your response to the writing prompt. And the other 2 contributions are going to be you replying to the submissions of other students in the writing prompt discussions. Your contributions also need to be significant. We need to go beyond simply repeating definitions or information from the text and more into applying the information and the concepts. It may be through watching a video that I provide, or in many instances, it may be connecting those ideas to your own personal experiences or other examples of communication related to those concepts. You can bring into the discussion information from outside of the text, whether that's your own personal experiences. Often we can find great examples of communication in things like television shows, books, movies, current events, pop culture. So you're encouraged to bring those things into the discussion as well in your writing prompts. And then above all, our writing prompt discussions are another part of our online community, opportunities for us to engage with the content and to engage with one another as we work through the content. So as far as the requirements, each chapter will have a focus question that's going to challenge you to explain and apply concepts that we're covering in the text. Your writing prompt discussion responses to the focus questions typically should be about 400 to 600 words. That's a guideline. It can be longer than 600 words if necessary. Your responses to the questions should be thoughtful and should be thorough. So carefully read the questions. Make sure that you are responding to each part of the question, as some questions will have several parts. Also, your responses should indicate that you have spent time looking at the materials and thoughtfully considering the question, not rushing through at the last minute to respond. Also, use of vocabulary and key terms are important, but also not just repeating definitions or copying information from the text, but putting those ideas into your own words, paraphrasing information to demonstrate your understanding of the content. And anytime that you're using information from the text or other supplemental resources, it's important to make sure that you are providing credit for where that information comes from. So if there's information from sources, specifically sources other than the text, or supplemental materials that are provided in the course, please use citations and include a reference for the information at the end of your post. So that's the first part of the writing prompt. The second part is that you reply to the responses of at least 2 classmates in each writing prompt. As a rule, the discussion board is set up so that you have to submit your own response to the question before you'll be able to see the responses of other students. So for that purpose, it's important that you think ahead in terms of completing these so that you do have time to thoughtfully read through the responses of some other students and develop meaningful replies to them. Your replies to other students can express agreement, disagreement, elaborate on the topic, provide new examples, present the information in a different way, maybe play devil's advocate if you want to, but it should take the student's response and add to it in some way, in some meaningful way. Your replies to other students, a good guideline is about 100 to 200 words. They don't need to be as long as your response to the writing prompt, but they should be well developed. That's a good point. I really agree and like what you said. We need to develop it a little bit further than that by including some more content. So again, those cursory responses such as good point or I agree, those will not receive credit. One-line replies and discussions won't get the job done. So please develop your replies to your other classmates. Again, just a reminder, there's communication happening all around us. News, pop culture, books, movies, television, the internet, music. Those are all places that we can find examples of communication and examples that relate to many of the concepts that we will be reviewing and discussing as we go through the chapter. So a couple of important rules to keep in mind for the writing prompts, and these are part of your grade for these assignments. So the writing prompts, the discussions, will be available by Tuesday of the week in which our chapters are assigned. Sometimes they will be available in advance of that. All students are expected to submit your responses to the prompt. So your original response to the prompt must be completed by Friday of that week. So the Chapter 1 writing prompt, the Chapter 2 writing prompt, the Chapter 6 writing prompt for our first week, you should be submitting your replies to each of those chapter writing prompt questions by Friday. This week, I believe that would be Friday the 22nd of May. So that is part of your grade, meeting that response deadline. And my purpose for that is so that your classmates have an opportunity to read your response to the writing prompt. They have a few days to look through those responses and develop their replies to you or to other students in the class. And then also, as we discussed, and is also a rule in the open discussions, always use your classmate's first name when you are replying to them, or if you're addressing me, Professor Rickert or Mr. Rickert, include the person's name in your reply. And remembering again that we are a community of learners here. While we exist on other sides of the computer screen, we are individuals, and it's important to keep in mind those individuals as you are replying to them. The rest of this document outlines the grading for the writing prompt discussions. You can look through that. Of course, if you have questions about this or other components of the course, you can email me, or you can use the I Have a Question discussion board to post your questions.